Welcome back, happy hookers. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to crochet the even berry stitch. So to get started, you're going to create your slip knot, and I like to create this by wrapping it around 2 fingers, taking the end that's attached to the ball and pulling it through into my slip knot and then shortening it. So the even berry is worked in multiples of 2. So for this, I'm going to chain, should we go for 12? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, was that 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm just going to move that out of the way because that's going to be really distracting. Okay, so let me just check that we've actually got 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We have. Perfect. So you're going to single crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3. So you're going to place a single crochet into this one, skipping 1 and 2 and 3. So you're going to insert your hook, yarn over and pull back through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, and you've created a single crochet. So insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over and pull through 2. If you're already familiar with this, skip ahead until the end, until you've got single crochets in every one of your chains. So there we go. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull that a bit nearer. Have to excuse that. Do anybody else get that? It was a really sore piece of skin. Not exactly very camera friendly. I'll try and paint my nails next time. So insert our hook, yarn over, pull back through. Insert our hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, and we should now have a lovely row of single crochets. So the even berry stitch is made up of combinations of 2 rows. We have the row that we create the berries in, and then because they create kind of like uneven little bumps, we then have a nice little row in between to bring it level again. So for row 2, which is the one you'll be creating the berries on, you're going to chain 1, and this counts as a slip stitch. This row is a combination of the berry stitch and the slip stitch, the berry stitch and the slip stitch. So this little one that you've done here forms one of the slip stitches. So you're going to turn your work and you're going to skip this one, that is your slip stitch, and you're going to do a berry stitch into this first one here. Now, if you need some written instructions, if you head over, I'll pop a link down below, head over to crochetandtea.com, check out the even berry stitch, and then there's some writing as well. But to create the berry, you're going to yarn over and you're going to insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull through, almost as if you were going to create a double crochet. But what you're going to do now is you're going to yarn over and then you're going to pull through only 1 of those loops, leaving 3 on your hook. You're then going to repeat that action again by yarning over, inserting into the same stitch, yarning over and pulling back through, yarning over and pulling through only 1. And you should have 5 loops on your hook. You're then going to yarn over and pull through all 5. Now this is the bit where you have a lot of potential to catch a stitch. So, and in fact, I've made that a little bit tight. Oh no, there we go. So tension really is your friend here. And if you find that you're struggling and you're catching, just pull it down and just repeat those, but keeping nice, really loopy, loose. I would say go loose to start with. So to complete the berry stitch, you're simply going to chain 1, and there's your berry. Over and pull through the first one. We yarn over, go back into the stitch, we yarn over and pull through the first one, leaving us 5 loops on the hook. We then do a final yarn over and pull through all of them, and then we close it with a chain. And then what we do is we place a slip stitch in the next one. So yarn over, pull through, and then immediately pull through. So let's create another berry. So we yarn over, we go into the stitch, we yarn over, pull through, we yarn over and pull through the first one, we yarn over, we go into the stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through the first one, 5 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 5, closing with a chain. And there we go. So we go slip stitch, and then another berry and another slip. So I'm going to continue creating the berries, and if you want to meet at the end or continue to follow on, pulling through the first one, yarning over, pulling back through, pulling through this one, yarn over, pull through all 5, chain to close, a slip stitch, a berry stitch, another berry stitch, and a final slip stitch. And what we're going to do at the very end, where we've got this bit, is we're going to finish with a single crochet. So if you turn over, you'll see, can you see these 2 loops just here? Sometimes it falls down the side. What you're going to do is you're going to pop your hook through there, you're going to yarn over and pull back through, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through them both to make a single crochet at the end. So now that we've created a row of berries, can you see we've got 5? What we're going to do is we're going to even out these peaks and troughs. So we're going to chain 2, and this is going to count as our first single crochet. And this is a mixture of single crochets and slip stitches. So we're going to slip stitch into the top of the berry. So we've got our single crochet here, and we've got our slip stitch here, and then we've got the top of the berry here. Now the top of the berry, when we turn it around, so if we count back, chain, chain counts as a single crochet, our single crochet there, our slip stitch, and this is our berry. And can you see it's made up of 2 pieces? This first one here was our closing chain, and this one here, which is sort of the side of the berry. Now if you were to create your berry stitch into this one, it would actually cause it a bit of a slant. So when you read a pattern that says, you know, slip stitch into the top of the berry, you actually want to be going into this one, which technically is the side of the berry, but that's kind of the way the pattern works. So counting back, we're going to miss, miss, miss. That's our slip stitch. We're going to go into this one here with the slip stitch. Now the next one, can you see this teeny weeny little one? And there's one here. These were the slip stitches in between our berries, and what we want to do is we want to put a single crochet in there, which is when making sure you've not done too tight a slip stitch comes handy. So we're going to yarn over and pull through for a single crochet. So we're going to slip stitch into the top of the berry, single crochet in between. And again, don't get worried about this, which also almost looks like you're missing a stitch. Don't worry, you want to be going into this one, the one next to your original slip stitch. So you're going to yarn over, pull through, and pull through, and then into this little one here for a single crochet. Single crochet, let's have a bit more yarn, slip stitch into the top of the berry, which is this side bit here, and sometimes they do sort of slip around the back, so always don't worry about having to tip it up and see. So not this one, which was the closing chain, but this one here, and pop a slip stitch, and I'll do a looser one, there we go, so it'll be easy to get in on the next round. A single crochet, oh, I've gone in the wrong place, single crochet into the slip stitch into the top of the berry, single crochet into the slip stitch, slip stitch into the top of the berry. So once you've done your final one here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to finish with a single crochet in the turning chain, and that is this little bit that's gone down the side. So if you follow where you've just put your hook in for your final slip stitch down to the next one here, and you're wanting to, oh, not all of them, you're wanting to go into this bit here and put yourself a single crochet in here. If you're a beginner and you're not particularly too sure where you need to go, so long as you get a single crochet into the end, it'll prevent your work from starting to look like a pyramid and slant. You know, it's just building that edge up nicely so you've got these straight edges. So now we're going to start another berry row. So what we're going to do here is we're going to chain 1, and remember that counts as our slip stitch. We're going to turn our work. So we're going to miss our slip stitch and we're going to miss our single crochet, and what we're going to do is we're going to berry stitch into this next stitch, which was our slip stitch in the top of our previous berry. And the reason we're making sure is because we want our berries to be on top of each other. So skipping this one, our turning chain, skipping our single crochet and putting a berry into this third one along. So again, we yarn over, we insert into the work, we yarn over and pull through. Got quite a bit loose there, let me just tidy that up. So we yarn over, insert in, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through the first one. Repeat that by yarning over, inserting our hook and pulling through, yarning over and pulling through the first one, closing the stitch by yarning over through all 5 and a chain. And then we're going to be slip stitching into the next one. So these were our single crochets that we did to kind of build the gaps up in between. So we're going to put a slip stitch into the next one. We're then going to put another berry into the top of the previous berry, or the slip stitch if you like. Yarn over and pull through the first one, yarn over, back into the work, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first one, yarn over and pull through all 5, closing it with a chain. So then the next one, see that, is our slip stitch. And then we're going to place another berry. So by now you should hopefully have gotten the gist of the berry. Get myself a bit more yarn running out there. So yarn over through the first one, yarn over back into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through the first one, yarn over through all 5, closing with a chain. Slip stitch into the next one. Trying not to split your stitch. This is cotton, and as much as I love the feel of cotton, it's quite open to being split, unfortunately, so you have to make sure you're quite gentle with it. So let's go for another berry. Let's get ourselves to the end and we'll show how to turn back for our next row of single crochets and slip stitches. So there we go, through all 5, close the berry, slip stitch, and all being well, oh, I went off camera then, sorry about that. This is our final berry stitch. So if I can get into it. Or sometimes you regret how tight you've crocheted on a previous row. Definitely. So I can't even see where I'm going. There we go. Into there, crochet through all 5, a berry and a slip stitch. I've just knocked the camera, sorry about that. So once you've done your final berry and your final slip stitch, don't forget you need to finish with a single crochet in your turning chain, which is this next one here, along, and a single crochet, and you're ready to go. And look at that. You see your berries on the other side. Oh, nice. So now you're going to be doing another row of slip stitches and single crochets. And this is the one where you have 2 turning chains. So you have 1, 2, turn your work, you skip your 2 turning chains, you skip your single crochet, and you skip your slip stitch, and you're going into the top of the berry. Remember, there's 1 bit there and 1 bit there. You're wanting to go into the second part of it next to your smaller slip stitch. And this again is a row of slip stitches. So we're going to slip stitch into the top of the berry, and we're going to put a single crochet into that slip stitch. Slip stitch into the top of the berry, single crochet into the slip stitch into the berry. I'll be dreaming about saying slip stitch into the berry tonight. Single crochet into the slip stitch into the berry. Oh, that one slipped right round the back. That's the thing, because these are quite bulbous. That's a fun word, isn't it? The actual stitch can sometimes slip right down the side, right down the back, but you should be able to see those familiar little V's if you just give it a little turn and do a slip stitch, single crochet into your slip stitch, and we're near the end. So slip stitch into the final berry, and then remember to do a single crochet at the end, which just sort of tidies it all up really nicely so that it's actually looking square. So all you're wanting to do really is repeat rows 3 and 4 until you get to your desired height. So thank you ever so much for watching this. As I said, I'll pop there's a written description of this over on crochetandtea.com. I'll be posting more tutorial videos very shortly. Happy hooking, and I'll see you soon. Bye.